Alexandra Mary II on the 2nd of June 2013. Yes, ma'am. With the greatest honorable respect, ma'am, to the reigning sovereign of this nation. Everyone does not hate God and see to diss his word and to have fear of death. Ma'am, when you and the House of Windsor orchestrated in 1976 2 years in training, in far as I can view, secretly, two men, Hubert Alexander Ingram and Perry Glasson Christie, Wood, in 1978, that came into this country and now left our country in a destructive manner. Taxes after taxes are heard. Oh, by the way, this is absolutely for every station owner what was granted licenses for either a radio station or a television station in this country. This goes out absolutely. This is absolutely directed also at every man and woman who has been given a private school license between the years of 1992 and 2017. Period. Now they ain't come yet, so let's scratch then. From 2014 to 2017, every license for every school, private school, where great sums of money has to be spent on education. What is these people teaching in these schools that the government schools are not giving? Is it more attention? Well, maybe the Bahamian people need to pay more attention to the people, last name, their surnames, who have been governing our country since Sir Lyndon came and shook the hand of some very great old black men, and white men, by the way, who, in fact, as it relates to the Progressive Liberal Party, he shook the hands of three great white men. The white men that started and created that party. And I sent a message in the name of the Yeshua. His children who serve him and love him, guess what? We are black and white. So, may the spirit of the Yeshua that has embarrassed the United Nations Security Council, the United Nations General Assembly, for not seeing to it that every word of the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights was, is, and continue to be adhered to. If you fail, Madam Sirs, Madam Moms, for this to happen, then my birth in the Bahamas, 2nd of June, 1970, as I celebrated 43 years on God's beautiful planet, the S-U-N Sun is my God. He is my shield. He is my Yahweh. He is my Yeshua. He is my Jesus. He is my Adonai. He is my Elohim. He is my El Shaddai. He is my shield. He is my shepherd. He is my buckled. He is my help. He is my faith. He is my hope. He is my love. And for him, when you challenge the system like I have done in this country for the last at least 17 years this year, like my grandfather would have went on the contract to save this country's economy. Everything is getting clearer and clearer every day as I go. You see, I took the PLP side because of my grandfather. I didn't understand a whole lot of things because they took me bombs. Bahamian people who decent, world people who decent, they took this young man to every school. They started off in Pinefield Acklands. When I had to leave Pinefield Acklands to come back to New Providence, where I born, by the way. I grew up in Pinefield Acklands with my grandmother and grandfather, my mother and father, and their parents were born. Okay? My family is Miller, when it as relates to my mother, my father and my mother. My father, his parents, is Miller's Cox. My mother, from Acklands. My mother is the McIntosh, the Great. Now, Alfred Virginius Cornelius Gray was the first teacher I had in Pinefield, Acklands. In 1978, my brother was brutally murdered, in my view, in a car accident where he was knocked down by a car. As far as I'm concerned, it was the government of my country who did that to my brother. And this was orchestrated to get me out of the house of Willis Miller, who went and won on the contract to help save this economy. When Great Britain, ma'am, yes ma'am, you were the reigning sovereign, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth Alexandra Mary, was not yet inaugurated. It would not be until, I think, either 1956, 53, or somewhere between 53 and 56 of her inauguration. In 1948, Pinefield, Acklands, the St. Luke Native Baptist Church of Acklands, in honor and memorial, hey brother, of my grandfather's generation, that generation set up a church. Okay? My grandfather then would have been around that time, around my age, the age I'm at now, around these kind of times. A little older, some a little younger. But they established that church to memorialize what the document that was signed in 1948. Now, in this country, this Bahamas and the Bahamian government, the present and sitting prime minister and the former prime minister, in cahoots and in conspiracy with, in my view, the House of Windsor, because it's only the House of Windsor, some royals around the world, and the governments of this world are literally believing they could have gotten away with replacing the truth of black people, white people, and everybody's independent universal right. This is absolutely an atrocious, barbaric, or as far as I'm concerned, all of the reasons why the Universal Declaration of Human Rights came about, why that document was necessary in 1948, and what the General Assembly proclaimed. Okay? In my view, the Security Council, the powerful nations who know that it had to be done, still come behind, and they are the ones who are undermining everything in respect to human rights in and out and around the Bahamian Islands, the Caribbean Islands, the Bahamas. They're updating this, updating that. Well, I say to you, this country is still a sovereign nation. And I have a question for the General Assembly of the United Nations, all heads of state. Did you, men and women, voted between 1940, the establishment of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and this year being the 68th, I think it's the 68th Assembly meeting. All right? The 68th General Assembly meeting for the United Nations, that is. So I say to you men, God has spared my life. I am the son and seed of Willis Miller. The Yeshua is the seed of the son. You cannot take from God what he have created. You cannot take the light from God and give it and or the wealth of it only to a small few any longer. Hear the words of Yahweh. This is what he desired for his people, for all of us to be equal before the law. There must be due process. Everyone must go through due process. The natural resources that were shared, in my view, unjustly, illegally, with malicious and corrupt intentions from the beginning, thus to the end. 40 years later, we're wondering why us as a nation is broke. So I say to the people of the Kingdom of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, there's nothing really wrong or broken in the country that cannot be fixed. Now, these men with great influence who have created everybody and made everybody have targeted the Willis Miller seeds, okay, to kill us off because of our name, the age of our name, and where it dates back and where it goes back. Many of us still don't know, even though. And so I'm encouraging every Miller who is alive, whether you're from Eleuthera, whether you're from Andros, whether you're from Cat Island, whether you're from Long Island, or whether you're from Acklands, or whether you might say, I'm just from here, or wherever you're from, and especially if you're black, study the coat of arms and family crest of your name, and then stand with the brother whose house, your house, represents your house. If this house falls on the last day to these wicked, corrupt people who have to give in to their corrupt leaders around the world, who have allowed their corrupt infiltration of very super powerful companies to come into these small countries. This is how they took over your country, by using companies. Companies allow you to work or allow these companies to come in and provide certain service. And everybody's getting paid a huge amount of your money. And that's why every year you're being asked to pay a debt that you don't owe, a bill that you cannot pay as it relates to your finances because you don't have a job, the majority of us, and they are using very powerful and influential talk show hosts, talk show company owners to distort this truth. Thus, I had to not, when I say I have killed myself, I killed myself when you come up against the FNM and the PLP and the church, these corrupt organizations, in my view, if they choose not to stand up or oppose, in my view, what they know to be the truth. The natural resources in this country that is in the hands of some foreigner does not belong to the person. These white foreign companies, the majority of which is white foreign companies, and the majority of the people who benefit in the country, that's why people like Perry Glaston Christie can say he don't own a company, because why? You men are corrupt, sir. I brought work to you. Tomorrow we'll celebrate 1 year. On that day, I will show just one image that you have kept from the Bahamian people for 365 days. Even when you know that image would have been created at least 2 years or almost 2 years before it was brought and delivered to your office, confirmed by your secretary, Miss Gibson, and everybody, or whatever they major and all, whatever their name is. So, you want people to have respect in this country for law and order? Maybe y'all need to start having respect for law and order yourselves. And the first law and order that you men and women in the church and in government and in civic organizations allowing corrupt agreements to be made in the name of the people? No, you lie. You made them in your name and in the name of your family, your friend, and your lovers. And the Spirit of the living God have brought me here to tell you, you are indeed a liar from the beginning. Hubert Alexander Ingram and Perry Glaston Christie lied in respect to their true intentions for this people from at least 1978. 2 years after a very important book of 1976 in respect to the House of Windsor and everything and everyone who supports that house. Ma'am, sirs, I don't care what y'all say or what y'all do or what y'all take away. Y'all could not take away this powerful and see curiosity. Y'all could have done kill me, and y'all probably would kill me after. Who cares? The sun in the background is my God. It is my shield. The melanin, the pigmentation of my skin gives me the courage. The love of Christ, the love of Christ's death, and the love of Christ's resurrection has caused me to checkmate the Bahamas government and the governments of the world in respect to just a piece of their puzzle that is in every home. The question is, what are natural resources that God the Son has created? Right? God the Son has created that human being has not, that are poor and needy have not yet done. Everyone who's losing a home, I think it's 3,500 plus of us. This is one of the principal reasons why you must follow this voice. I just need 3,500 people to make a pledge to give to Yah Creations 10% of the property that you lost, losing, or will lose if some supernatural help. And this help did not come. Now, every image is absolutely valuable around the world. You have 8 billion people who do not think like 400,000 of us. And all I need is for you to make a pledge. That's the first thing. The second thing I need, now, do you give any rights over? No. You're just saying, I pledge that when I'm successful through joining support with Yah Creations by donating $35, $35 will be my part into Yah Creations, representing my 10% pledge. Amos Jr. Miller, Israel, has an account at the Bank of the Bahamas. I'm going to again give out my account number. Every dime, every $35 placed on that account in the name of the person who have lost their home, losing your home, or without any supernatural help will lose your home. Knowing that if the government does not give you the help, or some family member or some whatever, you will continue to lose. Well, God the Son that is in the background, He has created certain things and He has given to us certain knowledge. Well, it is this knowledge that you have been seeing and hearing about for a very long time. Now, to